Hey guys, welcome back to another Chingo Gringo beer review. Today we have a really nice beer, a really special beer. Um, got some new shades. Shout out to my cousins in Texas, Tanya and Hugo, for hooking me up with these shades. I think they look okay. Right, new haircut, shave, looking good as new here. Okay, so let's quit messing around. Let's get to the beer, shall we? All right, today's beer is brewed by a brewery in the UK. Let me turn it straight here. It is Shepherd's Neame 1698. This is a strong Kentish ale with an alcohol by volume of 6.5%. This is brewed by Shepherd's Neame or Faversham Brewery in Faversham in the county of Kent, the city of Faversham in the city of Kent in the United Kingdom. Now, there's another good look at the label there. Okay, now more info about this beer. Like I said, the style is a strong Kentish ale. Now, Kentish ales are regionally protected, just like champagne from France and tequila from Mexico, here in Mexico. Okay, so this is a regionally protected beer. And one thing I like is this brewery uses local hop variety and local malt. They also say that they use water to brew the beer from their artesian well located on the property there in Kent. So, without further ado, let's pour this puppy up, shall we? Put the glass there. I don't know how much you can see. Let's see. Maybe you can see a little bit. Okay, let's pour this up. Now, one thing I failed to mention is that this beer is bottle conditioned. What does that mean? Now, to those of you that know, I don't have to explain, but to those of you that don't know, a bottle conditioned beer is a beer that is bottled while it is still fermenting. So it continues to slowly ferment in the bottle, and as a result, there is some sediment at the bottom. You may or may not be able to see it. It's kind of a dark bottle. I don't think so. But anyway, so this is a bottle conditioned beer, which means I have to pour it in a special way that's called decanting. Decanting is essentially a fancy word that means to pour the beer so that you don't disturb the sediment on the bottom of the bottle. That's what I'm doing. I hope you can see it there. Wow, what a wonderful head on this beer and what a wonderful color. Now let me pick it up and give you a better look at it. Okay, here. Now look at the color of that beer. That's a beautiful burnt amber color. Just look at the head on that beer. Wonderful head, like maybe even almost 3 fingers head. Good head retention on this beer. One thing the bottle conditioning does is to it helps to make very tiny bubbles. So that helps with the head, the nice head it has, the head retention, the lacing on the glass. Later you'll be able to see that a little better whenever the foam dies down. Now let's put a nose on this beer and see how it smells. I get a roasted barley malt, roasted malted barley. I get a fruity aroma. Could possibly be from the yeast that they use. Could also be from the hops a little bit. I get also that floral citrusy aroma that you get from the hops. I mentioned this. They say this beer is hopped 3 times or thrice hopped, but they don't say whether that is dry hopped, which I don't think so. I think more probably that this beer they use 3 hop additions when it's being brewed. So another look at it. Still got a good, still has good head retention. So let's go in for a taste, shall we? Just has a really uh, strong malt backbone. I mean, this is a malt prominent beer. Uh, and then after that wonderful maltiness that you get in the front, when it finishes, you get that nice mellow bitterness that's imparted by the hops. Let me take another taste. Oh, mm. Now, I've tasted other Kentish ales, and the ones that I've tasted, anyways, have been on the sweeter side, very malty without sufficient balance from the bitterness of the hops. But since this beer has received a good dose of hops when it was being brewed, 3 hop additions in the brewing process, then it imparts a really wonderful balance. It how do you say, matches very well with the malt character of this beer. I really like the fact that these guys use locally grown hops and locally grown malt, and they don't filter their water. They use artesian water, which is probably has some really great minerals in it that imparts that characteristic taste to their beers. One more taste. Mm. More good. Now, how am I going to rate this beer? Now, let me show you the lacing. Look at the lacing. Wonderful, wonderful lacing. Right? You see how the foam clings to the side of the glass like that and stays there for a little while. That's called lacing. And this beer has a wonderful lacing effect. Um, Now, overall, I out of 10 stars, I'm gonna have to give this beer 9 out of 10 stars. Um, I'm only giving it 9 and not 10 because these type of beers I would like to see maybe 7, 7.5, just my personal preference. Um Maybe some people like it at 6.5, but I like stronger beers, especially with the Kentish ales, um, in the region of 7% or higher. But it's a wonderful beer. Maybe I can go 9.5 on this beer. Let's go 9.5 on the Shepherd's Neame 1698 commemorative strong Kentish ale. Now, I say commemorative because I was reading on their website that this beer was brewed in 1998, which was the 300th anniversary of them brewing beer at brewing beer at this brewery, the Faversham Brewery, or the Shepherd Neame's Brewery. Um, and so they have over 300 years of brewing experience. Can you imagine? I imagine almost all of their beers must be wonderful. If their beers are anything like this one, then I'm going to have fun doing reviews on those. So 9.5 out of 10 stars for this strong Kentish ale. Wonderful beer, has a wonderful aroma, wonderful color, wonderful um, head and lacing, and wonderful, amazing taste. 9.5 stars, guys. So that's it for this Chingo Gringo beer review of Shepherd Neame 1698 Strong Kentish Ale. So, until I see you next time, keep pouring them up and keep drinking them down. Cheers, guys.